Well, today I need to start working on moving all this stuff. I got to change my shop layup out. I bought a CNC mill about like a month and a half ago, and it's finally time to get it moved in. So actually tomorrow morning, I'm going to go start. I got to get this thing picked up, and it's getting delivered here. So I need to put it somewhere. I'm planning on putting it in this back corner of my shop where currently I had my little welding bench. I got my heater, I had my little lathe. So I've got to kind of clean up a bunch of my stuff, get rid of some junk, and kind of consolidate and get a new layout. That Jeep is still in here I've done some revalving. I'm a little off on the rear still, so I got to take those rear shocks off and do some revalving, but it moves right now. So I'm going to pull that out, work on getting this moved over to the other side, and kind of organizing my benches and toolboxes a little bit more, and should have some space for a mill. So that's kind of what this episode's about. I'm going to try to document pretty much the process of getting my CNC mill that I bought in here in my garage, and Dune Hippie machine will finally have a CNC mill. So pumped on that. It's going to be a little while before I can actually run it. I don't have any of my power hooked up yet out here for it. So that'll be kind of the next stage, which I'll probably kind of document this whole process. You know, it's probably going to take me about a month to 2 months to actually get this thing to fire up, with all this, with just some other stuff I got going on. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. I'm going to probably just throw the GoPro on while I move a bunch of this stuff around and get ready for CNC mill. So I'm pumped. There's my new CNC mill. So I'm at the place where I got the mill from. Right now I'm just waiting on, got my truck here. Just waiting on for the moving company to show up. And we're gonna work on getting this thing out of here, load it on their truck, and head it back to my place. So pretty pumped. Machine's all blocked up. My phase converter, everything's all unhooked. So just need to get this thing loaded up and get it out of this garage and make the trek up to my place. So my place is like an hour, 20 minutes from here. So got a little bit of a drive to get it home, but we'll see how the day goes. Hopefully that's sitting in my garage by the end of the day, no issues. set in place. This is my new CNC mill, so I am pretty pumped about this. I've been working towards this for quite a long time, so maybe not necessarily the exact machine I've wanted, but the machine that I was able to score and make happen getting here. So it's been quite the process. I filmed a little bit of it. Hopefully, you know, it got hectic kind of quick. Once we got it out of the garage I bought this out of, my house was a little bit more interesting. I got a pretty steep driveway to deal with, not much concrete, and all that. I'll show you that stuff in a minute. But for now, this is it. I've got a Fadal VMC20. So the reason I got this machine in particular is pretty much just for that fact. It needed to fit through a 7-foot door. So not a lot of equipment that I was looking for would. My background's in a lot more stuff like Hercos, Mazaks, Haas's, some DMGs, some stuff like that. And all that stuff is really too big. You know, Haas makes the super mini mill and some stuff like that, but all their bigger stuff, the VF series, that stuff won't fit in the 7-foot doors, just because of the spindles and the motors and all that stuff is way too high. So this is a quite a bit older machine. I'm actually not even exactly sure the year on this. The first date I've seen on it so far, it's a handwritten date, said it was installed in 91. So somewhere around there, probably a 90, 91. And it's old. Still works. It was working when I bought it, all that. There is like an X bearing that was just starting to make noise, but one of the things with buying something like this, the Fadals specifically, is there's actually quite a bit of aftermarket, well, not aftermarket, but parts available for them. So they're pretty cost effective. They fit in the door barely. I can kind of show you some of the stuff. I had to unhook a lot of stuff up here to make it fit. This is the fan for the motor, and then the Z-axis is actually laying right back in there. I got to put that back on. I'm actually gonna have to make a pocket in my ceiling for this Z-axis to go into. So I had to take the wiring, I don't know what you call it, cord, track, unbolt that, get that bent over, and we were pretty much setting it on the concrete just barely and getting it out with probably about a 1/2 inch to spare. So it's in here now though. It wasn't, I'll show you a little bit. So my driveway, and you can see in the videos, obviously, what we were dealing with of, this is at a slight little bit of a hill. It's all super sandy. There's really not much gravel in here. And really we got to a spot here. We unloaded it over onto that pad and then used some plywood up this slanted hill here and drove it up here. And right when the weight hit this corner, it buckled the concrete a little bit, but I kind of knew I wasn't going to get unscathed trying to get this thing in here, getting a full semi up in my little driveway and or hilltop of my driveway. So nonetheless, I'm pumped it's here finally. It's sitting on pads. I am thinking I'm gonna do something. Maybe I am gonna move this thing yet. It's kind of just set there. Like I said, I'm gonna have to cut a pocket somewhere in my ceiling for that Z-axis. I need to get this thing wired yet. I don't have I don't have the power out here yet to run it. I'm working on getting a separate service out to this garage, and then we're gonna wire up this guy right here. So this is actually what's gonna run it. That's a 30 horsepower phase converter. So that's what's gonna, and actually I bought these together. So that's the exact same phase converter that was powering it in the other garage. So made life simple being able to just buy everything. I've got the panel for it, for the 220 in and for the converter. So just getting everything all included was ideal for me. And especially, like I said, it came out of a garage, so I knew it was going to work in another garage. So that's going to be kind of the next project for this, is getting, moving it. I'm going to do some cleanup stuff, but getting the power ran to get this hooked up. So once I get power to it, I can fire it up, work on getting the table all level. And then I'm actually, before I really start even using it, I'm gonna just go through and do a bunch of the bearings and a bunch of stuff like that. Just do a bunch of maintenance and hopefully try to get some good hours out of this thing before I have to do anything more. So I better knock on some wood. But that's kind of the plan. So I am kind of thinking I might move this thing. I zoomed in. No. I'm thinking I might move this thing on an angle. So if it's sitting like this, an angle in my corner of my garage, I had to take my heater down. I'm gonna have to move that over to the other corner. So more work. But the main reason I'm thinking about moving it is because these doors, these are the panels that come off on both sides. No chip auger on this machine. So you take those sides off and shovel out the chips. So manual, but kind of for me, one less thing to break starting off. Less is more. And yeah, if you want to take a look, if you've never checked out this Fadal controllers, I'm not super used to this. I'm going to have to watch a little bit of YouTube and just start monkeying with it once I get power and get the thing figured out. But I like the control layout. There's some screen upgrades. These are the old, whatever, just black and green letters and numbers screen. So they do make like an LCD upgrade. And that's where I said there's a lot of parts for these things. There's a lot of upgrades. Another thing I'm going to be looking at doing is how I'm going to be sending programs to this thing is I'm going to look at adding the USB option. It's a thing you got to wire up into the controller and then put a hole in the side and have a little USB there. So take a look around. It's not much to look at yet. Hopefully have plans and ideas. We'll see if I get to it. This thing was painted at some point in time years ago. The whole machine is supposed to be this color from Fadal. So the inside's the original and then the outside's been painted this gray. So I may try to take these panels off. They all just come off with Allen. So might take all these off and give it a fresh coat of paint and try to clean it up, make it a little newer than it is, but I can't really see much there. Kept it away from the wall quite a bit, so that way you can still, there's a coolant tank. I have it laying outside, but coolant tank goes right down in here. There's your runouts for the coolant. Coolant comes in and falls back into the tray. But yeah, here you go, enough room for the electrical panel in the back. Still need to be able to access this, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I wish I could fire this thing up. I knew that was going to happen. I knew I was going to get it here and have probably a couple weeks realistically before I'm able to actually fire this thing up and start moving it around and doing stuff with it. But yeah, super pumped on this thing. Full little ATC. So coming from my background in machining and the equipment and stuff I'm used to running, there's all sorts of these like hobby machines coming out nowadays, but really just didn't want to go that route. That type of stuff just doesn't really suit my needs and what I want. And even this is something, it still is it's a Cat 40 spindle, so pretty decent size spindle for doing the stuff that I want to do. And start getting some more billet parts and some upcoming projects I got this winter. I'm going to be taking advantage of this quite a bit on those projects. So I am pretty pumped that I got this here before winter and made this happen. Once I get the power all hooked up out here, I am going to probably somewhere over in that area along that wall, I'm going to move my plasma table out here that is in my other garage. So I'll have the power out here to actually move that out here and run that out here. So I'll have my plasma table and I'll have this mill. Still have a pretty decent amount of room. I've been growing right by this Jeep and haven't said anything about it yet. But still have a little decent amount of bit of room to get some projects in here and be able to work on some project stuff, work on some machine stuff. So that's more what I got coming up. This Jeep, I guess I'll touch on this thing a little bit. Pretty dope Jeep. Linked, 3-linked front, 4-linked rear, sway bars front and rear, It's on some King 2.0 coilovers. And it's also twin turbo Steve Morris engine out of Muskegon. Pretty dope little setup. Maybe I'll pop that hood really quick. There we go. Got my nice little hammer hood prop, but some turbo skis in there. I don't know nothing about them. I'm just showing them to you because it's here. This is here because it just needed some suspension tuning. So I've already revalved the front once. I revalved the rear. Actually, the front and the rear, I've revalved them. The front, customer's happy with. It's doing what you need. The rear, there still is a little bit of work I need to do. So I'm going to try another valve stack on that. So I don't remember if I filmed anything of this or not. If I have some video, maybe I'll put it in. But I don't know. I don't even remember. I got all sorts of different things going on right now. I guess I'll have a video coming up again on a few people wanted to know more about the XJ, the beamed XJ. That's LS swap, the 6-liter. That's back. Do some more work, so we'll get into that and show you what's going on with it. And yeah, pretty dope little Jeep. I don't know why I got 2 Jeeps in here now all of a sudden, but yeah, that's I guess my machine video. A lot more talking than actual moving stuff. Like I said, it got a little hairy maybe for about 10 seconds coming up my driveway with a semi falling off the concrete and in the sand. And let's just say the guys that moved it said if I want another machine moved, call somebody else. So they got it here though. They handled it and made it. They're a little bit more, I guess, guys dealing with shops and big bay doors, and you know the 7-foot door thing is something they don't do too often, but the driveway kind of threw them for a loop. So, and then all this sand that's out here. So it was quite an undertaking, and it's been an undertaking. That's why you know, I think I've been trying to buy a CNC mill for about 7 years now. So just has never been able to be something I've been able to make happen, and all of a sudden now it's finally paid off and it's sitting here. So still got quite a bit of work to do to get it going, but nonetheless, that's it. And hoping to show you guys some dope stuff here in the future. This coming up winter, got some project coming in here for some full build, some suspension, some beam projects. So something I'm kind of, I guess you're going to start seeing the first Dune Hippie machine beam stuff coming out, and been waiting for this piece of equipment before I started that process, and now that I've got it, I'm gonna start working up some beam stuff. So thanks for watching, all you guys that hit me up in the dunes and say hey. Appreciate it, and yeah, I'll keep trying to make some more of these.